point. Welcome back to Bay Sunday, everybody. Nearly 1 million children each year experience sexual and emotional abuse, and if not treated, it can haunt them for the rest of their lives. Our next guest sadly went down that path, but instead of keeping all those emotions bottled up, she's now sharing her recovery in a best-selling book, Girl from the Hood, Gone Good. She hopes to inspire and heal others with her troubled past. Pleased to welcome San Francisco native Ana Maria Sanchez. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to have you here. Well, you had a tough upbringing.
Yes, I did.
Here in the city, you're 6, 7 years old, and it's your great aunt's house,
yes.
And they bring in a renter who has a young boy, a 14-year-old.
Yes, correct.
What happened?
Well, in the beginning, he was my friend. He was like any normal 14-year-old, as I was any normal 6-year-old. But quickly, that was to shift, and he just started exhibiting a different kind of, desiring a different kind of relationship with me. And I was only 6 years old and in the grips of a 14-year-old who was interested in doing other things and play with me. It quickly turned to something very, very ugly.
So he controlled you, basically.
Very much.
And you tried to tell your parents, but they were, oh, no, no, no.
You know, something that shocking, I can't explain why they would have not responded in the way that one would have hoped, but the fear, and they were immigrants, I can't answer that, why they would not have answered, but yes, I tried.
So you're growing up, you turn about 11 or 12, and then you were just the wild child.
Yes, yes.
All that you experienced, you just let it out in a bunch of bad ways, actually, right? What did you do?
I did a lot of drinking, a lot of fist fighting, I was so angry. I was overtly angry, and I expressed it to anyone who even attempted to cross me, and especially if under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol and substance, was 11 years old, you don't know how to handle that.
So you're drinking at 11, smoking pot.
Yeah.
Doing cocaine.
Cocaine at 13.
13. Wow. When did you finally figure it out? Here you are living a life, and then you hooked up with a guy for 10 years as a teenager, an older guy, you were hanging out with older kids. Did you have that epiphany moment where you say, you know, I want to get my life together here?
It wasn't one, it was a series of things, a series of nights of being in tears and trying to figure out, why is this happening to me? Why am I in this chaos? But why am I in this repeated pattern of choosing these kinds of guys and attracting them in my life? It wasn't one epiphany, it was several. And it wasn't until I was about 27, 28 that I said enough. But that was one of my last relationships was most severest, and that was an attempt on my life.
And what's amazing to me, through all this troubled times, your dad was, said you got to be book smart, you got to read. You're reading all through this. You got your college degree, you got your master's in counseling and psychology, even though you were living this double life, a hellion on one side and a bookworm on the other. Yeah. How'd you do that?
I think because as a child, I learned to have a separate life. I splintered. In psychology, that's what we call, splintering. And because of the severe abuse, and I didn't want anyone to know, I tried telling and no one responded. So I assumed that keeping it a secret was the best thing, and this perpetrator was telling me just that. So I learned to have a double life at a young age.
The book, was it cathartic to write? Was it difficult? Did all these emotions come boiling back, or what?
It was one of the most difficult things I had done, and I didn't think that was going to be the case upon embarking on that. But each day that I had to revisit the scenarios, it was rather grueling, but it was cathartic in the end because it was a miraculous healing that came through.
And now you're counseling. You're helping those that are going through the same problem. How's that been? And your book, by the way, is almost like it tells your story, but it also helps people that might have gone through the same abuse, sexual abuse, how to handle it, right?
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to share my story, but I wanted to give tangible tips that people could use at home to begin the process to journey out of any kind of emotional turmoil they're going through, whether it be as severe as domestic violence and drugs and alcohol, or as simple as just depression and sadness. How long
did it take? Was this a process over years? Did you keep a journal way back when? How did you do it?
Oh, I've had a journal for the last 15 years. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. And to go back and read and sometimes see that I'm still dealing with the same issue sometimes. Same issue, but to see how much I have overcome. So it took a long time.
And how are you doing now?
I'm doing really well.
Doing really well?
Doing really well.
Engaged?
Yes, I am.
To be married?
Yes.
And kind of moving on. And what do your family and friends, what do they think of the book?
They're very proud. They're very proud. When I first told them I was writing a book, I think they were like, okay, here's Anna with another one of her, quirky little projects, but this one I fell through on, and I actually delivered, and it actually became a bestseller.
It did.
Yeah.
And the reaction out there has been unbelievable.
Yes.
Have you heard from some of the readers that just say, thank you, Anna?
Absolutely. The thing that I hear the most is, thank you for coming clean with your situation, the openness, and how I show up so raw with the material, the drugs, the alcohol, the violence. It has given people the hope that they can perhaps come forward with theirs and not be judged.
Well, it's terrific, and if anyone out there is going through anything like this, it's highly recommended. Thanks so much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
I appreciate it.
If you would like more information, you can log on to freethelightwithin.com. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week with more Bay Sunday. In the meantime, enjoy, everybody. See you next week.